We back, man. I tell y'all what, man, I'm getting ready for my next vacation. That vacation did me so well to the point, man, it is out here, man. It is crazy. So, whew, but I'm back. Boss Lady Denise in the building. What's going on with you? Yeah, back to business as usual. Uh, what we gonna name this? Money Wednesday. It ain't Tuesday. It ain't Monday. You gotta do a little wellness mixed in with this too, because Wednesday is my wellness day. Talk about your health, talk about the things you need to get in order in your life. You know, yeah, I had so much fun. Next time, my wife family she forcing me. Well, they trying to force me to get off the I'm having a brain freeze right now, but get off the resort and get an Airbnb. Typically I don't like doing that. I like more or less staying on the resort because you get a lot of protection, a lot of food, a lot of everything. So you know that's my thing for me wanting to do that. But she got family down there, so we gonna try to get over there next time and do that. Actually, everybody talking about going back in November, and I'm like, y'all act like somebody rich. I mean, technically speaking, I was already having a trip going somewhere else and everything, and then we're gonna be doing a. Hopefully, I can get family to do a little quick trip to Florida before the summer ends, before the kids go back, because I found this little cool spot in Orlando that we can do for the kids and they have some fun. So, but yeah, man, we back, saving my money. Gonna be on this strict budget because I got a couple more trips I want to go on. So, let it be known it was fun. But back to business. All right, so the way the economy is going right now, a lot of people need to be looking at different budgets. A lot of people need to be looking at savings, investing. You know, the biggest thing that I've been seeing more or less is about the future of us in our retirement. Our generation now, um, Gen X's, millennials, we're coming up on the older spectrum of the scale. So we need to start looking at these different ways. And, the government is trying to, I guess, to a point. Sheila, what's going on with you? Sheila, the quiet storm, what's going on? Just got back from Jamaica, Sheila. But yeah, we need to start looking at that because a lot of us are not really saving as much for our retirement. And on average, most people retire getting about $1,500 a month. You know, like I said, I talked to a guy. He's getting 35, and it's not enough for him. His wife, she getting 12, and the guy who's getting 15, he actually um he was working at a plant, a chemical plant. He worked there for the better half of 15 years, almost going on to 20 years. So you know, he had a stretch at a chemical plant before he started taking other jobs and moving around and stuff. So he had a pretty much handled career within that field. And then from the perspective of his wife, she's always been a caretaker nurse. So from her field, when it comes down to it, she more or less, worked basic common job and stuff, wasn't, too much shy of making an honest day living and a lot of money at that as well, you know. But both of them together can't really function as well in this economy due to medical bills, due to not owning a home. You know, their persona was, well, why own a home? We're not leaving it to our kids. All our kids are pretty much grown. They have their own home. I say, well, what about stability for you so you won't have to worry about the rent increase going up every year? You know, I mean, needless to say, taxes go up and it's almost the same if you look at the balance, but you're putting more money into somebody else's hand by renting. So, that's always a good thing to try to get to the point of buying because that's an asset that you can sell. And, statistically shown, Four Corners, what's going on with you? Nice to see you in the building. Statistically shown, you're getting at least at bare minimum of 15%, you know, value in your house within 10 years. So you're gonna gain some type of value. I mean, as of right now, the way the market is, people are getting 30%. Some of them are almost doubling, you know, over 100% in what you pay for your home. The value of people homes are doubling right now. You pay 200,000, your house is probably worth 400,000. Some people, depending on the area, and we all know about gentrification but this is the thing. If you don't build your community, someone else will. So as it stands, a lot of us looking at retirement, we got to start weighing our options. Looking at, do we really can afford these newer cars? Can we really afford, these bigger houses? The houses with the bells and whistles, they cost more. You know, you want that nice granite top, maybe you have to buy it later. You want those white cabinets with the trim with the gold handles or something, you might have to get it later. That's the biggest thing, planning for your future more than anything. These materialistic things, to a degree they come and go. But what's to say you get into a bad situation, who's coming to save you? You know, honestly, we go run the numbers. Most people can't afford their homes. Once you look at the fact of, needless to say, oh, well, they qualified me for it. They don't take an account of you buying a brand new car 2 months after you get the house. They don't take an account of you going to spend $10,000 on all new furniture. Wellness was going on. Wellness with frugal mama. They don't take an account of all this stuff. So the biggest thing for you is to take into account that your spending habits once you buy a house, once you buy a car or something, you know, thinking about your future. You know, I don't really promote Webull and all those other sites. Um, what's the green one that everybody mostly uses? Just having a brain freeze this morning. Wow. Um, it's not Forex. Hold on real quick. All right, yeah, Robinhood. So yep, that's what it is, Robinhood. So with Robinhood, a lot of people use Robinhood as well. But the thing about it is you have to, pretty much budget yourself to pick your tolerance and go out there. I wouldn't say spend aggressively as you just getting into it, but over time, learn the stakes, learn about the market. That's the biggest issue with a lot of people, the knowledge. The knowledge holds a lot of people back because versus them actually going out here, looking at a couple of videos, finding out the knowledge. There's Family Tribe. What's going on with you? I was just checking y'all out. I think it was yesterday. But when it comes down to it, a lot of people are lacking in knowledge. So that's what's preventing a lot of people from actually expanding themselves into different markets, being interested in doing the stock, being interested in passive income because they know nothing about it. You know, I was looking at a video yesterday and the guy hit on something so real to the point where, it kind of gave me a little chill about some things. Like when it comes down to it, I wouldn't say buying a course is always the best form of, really getting the knowledge because some people resell courses from other people. They don't give you all the information. But by you, kind of doing a little research, you should be more informed to either, if you can't afford the course or don't have the money to buy the course, at least be able to, research for yourself to find some of this free information out. If this is something you want to do, find some free information out. That's the key thing. Getting the free information and establishing yourself to, benefit yourself. When it comes down to it, point of reference is this: looking at information as far as the stock market. One of the best people to go after, and he talks about his earnings and dealings with the market, is Warren Buffett. He gives you what he's investing. You know, one hit ETFs. ETFs give the biggest, to a degree turnaround. Um, just looking at those 5, 10 year, so many year plans on how the growth process. You're gonna take some losses, but you're gonna take some gains too if you know how to read the market. ETFs are like the biggest gains. The S&P 500. Personally, I look at the spider. Between those two, but the spider is more of a one that I look at for the ETF. And ETFs more is just like a collection of a lot of different stocks put together. Just basic term, basic as it gets. Um, Lisa J Stocks, watch her channel. Her and Prez does a real good job there on Sundays, breaking down different markets, breaking down what to look for. Um, what is the graphic card? I think it's Neva, or something. It's a graphic card company. Um, I know because building computers, you need those for the processors for mining and stuff like that. So I've been looking at that company for years. Never invested in them. When they were like $800, $80, now that company's over $1,000 for that stock. So that's something people might want to look into. They did the split on Tesla. Everybody was harping on that 2 years ago, or was it three? 3 years ago? 3 years ago that Tesla would hit twelve $100. Excuse me. And they did it. A lot of people got a big payout, especially Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris, I think for the most part, say she put about close to 2 million on Tesla hitting that. You know, I'm not gonna get into politics because that's left. Politics and religion, everything goes left. But going into the situation like I was getting back to earlier, what's going on, bro? A lot of people need to start looking more on the investment side of how they're gonna handle their future. Like I said, getting into the generation where I'm at as a millennial and the Gen Xers, we need to be looking more into our future because we're the older ones now, and we need to start looking at how are we gonna live. You know, I always talk about one of my older friends, and this guy's about 69. I have another friend, he's about 73, he's gonna be 74 this year. And man, when he turns 74, we're talking about throwing this big old big party. And with that big party, man, 75, that's a milestone, man. Like a lot of people don't hit those numbers. Shout out, to him. Even with my wife's grandmother. My wife's grandmother, she is 94 right now, about to be 95 first of the year, going into next year. So, standing the test of time, man, if we live that long, what are we going to do for ourselves? Are we generally going to have our kids taking care of us? The way this generation is, I don't even look at my kids being able to take care of me. You know, uh, entertainment side has got most of these kids. My kids aren't bad, but at the same time, if you know your kids, you know your kids. To a degree, all this money, if I was to leave them, they will pretty much just about blow it until they, get to their last. I mean, that's in general. If you haven't had a lot of money, oh, shout out to you. Being 50. Whoo, that's a number. You hitting it. But the crazy part is a lot of times when we get every year, birthday comes, we're looking for the moments to party. We're looking for the moments to, just feel good. But what about the future? You know, the way things are going now, we're not to the point of, hey, when I retire, I'm just gonna go sit down and collect my pension, not do anything. I recently just talked to a guy. It was crazy with him. He actually, getting to the age of retirement, and yet he's still working, but I mean, it's so many things you have to accomplish. It's so many things you need to be doing, and a lot of people aren't doing it. You know, there's so many issues at bay. There's so many, you know, things you need to worry about far as health. We're looking at a prime example, the government trying to, look after us, giving us Social Security. To a point, what if Social Security runs out? Then what is our option? Work till we're 80, as most of these Congress people are, who just pick up a pen, sign something. They're pretty much in good health because, hey, they got the money, they got the funding. They can eat the best of food, best of doctors, you know, try the most advanced medical things to help them out to live longer. Look at Rockefeller. Look how many times this guy, what was it, had open heart surgery. He was trying to be immortal. Take it into consideration that the things that we do now is going to determine our future when we get older. A lot of this frugal spending, and I was glad that I got that out at a young age. So as of right now, you know, just maintain it. Hey, crazy. And see, when it comes down to it, you don't know when death is going to come at you, and we know when we're going to get older. But the point of it is, are we going to plan for that? You know, Death is just knocking at anybody's door at any given time. Are we actually planned out? Going into this uh, short pause for this promote. Shout out to Alonzo. Friday, Alonzo's gonna have his luncheon. Alonzo, the All Star Advisor. Y'all go check him out. His name is Alonzo, the All Star Advisor. Check out his channel for those that know. Those that don't know, go check him out. He's gonna have his luncheon. I believe it's going to be on the subject of buying homes and versus renting. Um, it's going to be something worth watching. Lisa, I was just talking about you earlier, spoke you up. But when it comes down to it, just you know, take a pen and pad, figure out the pros and cons. Some people might have a house. They might learn some things, to help them out. The homesteading for as far as your taxes, even to a point of when you get older. They have stipulations to where they can lower your tax rate. You know, going into like an elderly clause. But this is the thing, you have to learn these things. It's all fun and games when we're young, having fun, doing our thing. But as we get older, like I said, looking more into passive income, looking at things that can help us long term. Because when it comes down to it, who's actually going to be there for you but you? So when it comes to your retirement, are you putting money aside? Are you investing in a 401k, IRA? Are you, putting money in some form of retirement fund that can help you? Long-term care, something that if something were to happen to you, you'll be okay. Especially when you're not married, you got to consider those options as well. What if something were to happen to me now? Are, am I going to have a family member to take care of me? You know, life insurance kicks in to where if you have that it's a care policy. I'm just having such a brain freeze this morning. A care policy added to your life insurance to where if anything were to happen to you, say you have cancer, accident or something to where it's life threatening, you can go into your life insurance and pull some of that money out to make life a little more easier for you without having such burden. You're able to keep up on your bills because you're not going to be working. Something happens, to a point of you damn near dying. Likeliness, you're not going to be working. You know, and if you don't have those insurance that actually subsidize your income when you get injured or something even worse than that, you're going to need something to help you out. You know, a lot of people look at situations now and they say, I wish I would have did this long time ago. You know, shout out to Alonzo. Alonzo spoke on a family member of his wanting life insurance after he got shot. And it wasn't to a point of, him doing something wrong, right place, wrong time. And things like that happen, you know. I have family members asking me about life insurance as well, because I generally talk about it amongst my wife's side of the family a lot. And now they try to come to me, ask me different questions. And I tell them, you can always get life insurance, but you might not always like the price because the younger you are, the healthier you are, that's the best time to get life insurance. And a lot of times, people, like they say, neglect your health to make money when you're young. And as you get older, you put more, Shiny, what's going on? Then you put more of your time and your money back into your health as you get older. So that's the big thing. If you get life insurance at a relatively young or mid age, it's not as much. The older you get, all the medication you're on, prime example, Alonzo talked about how, you know, he had a customer beat cancer. And because they put that they never had cancer on the application, it got to a point where they was not only denied from him, but other companies because he lied on the paperwork, you know. And that's one of the key things. The insurance company, once you sign those papers, they get your medical records. Anything you say you're not a avid smoker or drinker, soon as you spawn, what's going on, man? Long time I ain't seen you in the building. When you sit there and tell your doctor that you occasionally smoke and drink, that's going on your medical records. Everything's being checked off in the box. They sit there, send those paperwork that your doctor, because they go through all your paperwork. Even if you ever had a broken bone, any little small issue that's minor that the doctor wanted to pay attention to, he put it in his notes. Even though you say, well, I was never prescribed nothing for it, but it's in his notes. Look at a woman, she's to an age for a mammogram that she has a lump here. Check for this. It might be something. There's always in there. So to a point, so to a point, looking, looking is the key. I mean, regardless, hey, I I say myself to a degree that I'm a social, but I don't smoke at all. That's one of the key things that they look for is the smoking. The what's called they can let that go kind of slightly is the drinking. It's more or less going towards your liver. But if you say you don't drink and then you die from cirrhosis of the liver, it's kind of hard for them to say, yeah, we're gonna pay this out, and you drunk yourself to death and got cirrhosis of the liver in like 3 to 4 years. So that's gonna be kind of odd right there on that one. Yeah, the Jamaica trip was good, man. Yeah, I had a good time. Had a great time, man. Next time I'm going back, staying on the Airbnb with the family because they wanted me and my wife more around them a lot. But I was like, man, I was wanting to be around me and my wife just to enjoy. A lot of times, family is cool, but more or less, you want to get to a point of just relaxing. Young Riaz was going on, and to a degree, you want to just relax. And they didn't. We had to buy a lot of food, cooking. I'm like, I'm on vacation. I don't want to cook like that. Even when I get when I used to have the timeshares, and we would still go out to eat once or twice a day. For the most part, we'll cook one meal, and depends on if the whole family's around. We'll cook a couple of meals. Everybody just take turns. When I have my kids, we'll just take turns cooking. But for the most part, we'll just be all chilling, man. But yeah, it was pretty cool. The family, they all was there. My wife, cousins, kids, they went to their land where their great grandfather had. But then a situation with that now, with the land trying to make sure no one tries to take it because hey, it's cold world down there in Jamaica. They'll snatch some land quick. But yeah, it was fun, man. I can't wait till the next one. My wife, she got out there in the beach, loved the ocean. She felt so good. You might end up be moving to Florida. But getting back into it, a lot of times, man, we have our, you know, points of reference when retiring. How are we gonna live? Where's the money coming from? Are we saving enough? That's the biggest issue with a lot of people. Have you saved enough for, retirement? And to some degree, when saving enough, are you making enough now? It gets to a point with some people, if you're not making enough money, man, how are you maintaining life? Overspending. You want to do some things, but you're overspending with it. Say you want to, take a trip at something such I did. If you overspend on your trip, you're coming back to debt. You know, Needless to say, if you don't have enough money, why why are you doing it? Why are you buying this BMW? Get a regular car. You know, I've seen so many people, hit rock bottom because of that. They're sitting there overspending, buying things that they can't afford, and then when it comes down to it, oh shoot, I know you love your retirement. I know. You had needless to say, a couple of good things that you told about, and there several stories that you just living life. That's the point I want to get to. Just live life. If I want to work, I can go work. But if I don't want to work, I ain't trying to work. You know, let my investments roll for themselves. You know, all the things that I set into play, just let it. As they say, that let the ducks fall where they lay. You put things in play and let them work for you. You know, the old saying, uh, not really so much work for your money, let your money work for you. And it's to the point where a lot of times you have to get your investments set up. You have to get things put together so you have that point of reference to where you can retire and be comfortable and feel good. You don't have to worry about yourself, man. Am I going to afford this? Is this going to be enough for me? And that's what it gets to with a lot of people, trying to live off the money that they already have now versus saving versus living under, not above their means, but under their means. Not at the market rate or mid, but below your means. You know, always eating out. That's not a thing. Sometimes you're gonna have to cook. I mean, the rate now, stores are starting it, and that's one of the things I wanted to touch on one of my videos I was gonna put out coming into next week. Got them all lined up. Is the market in the food chains? A lot of them will start coming down on their prices. Don't you know McDonald's went up 100%? Same thing as Wendy's with their $4 bag. What is it? A $6 bag now? I don't even know if they still have that bag together, or it's $7 now. Looking at Subway, Subway having the $5 foot long. Now they're coming out with the $6 6 inch. Like the craziness in the market. So eating out is going to be something that's going to be sort of a delicacy at some point. Because back in the day, most people only ate out typically at Sundays. They go out, eat out with the family at a nice restaurant, but majority of the time, a lot of people are cooking at home because they just didn't have it. If you hear most of these stories where most of the people who ate out had money, or you literally just didn't know how to cook. If you didn't know how to cook, you had to have a lot of money. You had to have a lot of money because, hey, you didn't know how to cook, so you better make some money so you can feed yourself. My great grandma showed me how to cook. I was just laughing this weekend on vacation. My wife's brother, they're twins. They about 20. What are they? No, they just turned 30, 30 or 31. Yeah, I think they just turned 30 or 31. But these guys can't really cook like that. Oh man, it was so bad. They weren't turning on the stove. They was burning the food. I didn't eat the Jamaican food that they was making. It was making some breadfruit. It don't really have a nice taste to me. It just like some dry toast. Um, and they was making some. I think it was ackee and sawfish. I don't really too much like the ackee. The texture, it's not hidden for me. But getting back into it, this guy's come really cook worth nothing, man. I'm like, dude, like, you blame the parents for that. I was like, man, what y'all mama was doing with y'all? She didn't teach y'all how to cook. I was like, my granny taught me how to cook. My grandma taught me how to cook. My granny was the main one to teach me how to cook because I was a little chubby kid when I was young. So my granny told me, if you're gonna be big, you need to learn how to cook for yourself. She was like, if you like to eat, you need to come learn how to cook for yourself. Then to a point that she did, she made her jokes, but she taught all the men in the family how to cook. From her boys to nephews, they stopped by, different other men in the family, because she would always tell them. You know, whether you live alone or whether you live with a woman, if she can't cook, this is gonna have to be an option for you. So it was always known to me that hey, you need to learn how to cook to eat for yourself and to help out or do for someone else. So that's always been the thing within our family to learn how to cook. And as a woman, you need to establish it's like a survival skill for the most part. So needless to say, like I say, as far as retirement, you have to pick up them survivor skills for yourself. What are you retiring to? How much are you going to make? Most people haven't even looked at their statements or reached out to the Social Security office on if I was to retire today or retire at 50, how much money will I have? You know, I think I got one statement for my retirement. It wasn't a lot. I looked into it. So I was like, I need to make more money. I mean, I need to do more because it was to a degree. I was making so much money at one time. I surpassed so many people straight out of high school. That's the start. Yep. Yeah, I was talking about them early. But when it came down to it, I took a pay cut more or less for the family. But still, it's not to turn from my future goals because that's the whole point of me looking at investments. That's the whole point of me looking at passive income. That's the point of me getting into real estate right now. And with me not being able to buy a house and flip, but join groups to where we can do it together. It's strength in numbers, you know. Everybody get on the contract, everybody knows the intent, you know, doing their part, putting their money in, and going from there. Yeah, got a call. I'm trying to ignore it. But yeah, everybody, for the most part, looking at better investments for yourself. What are the key things you're going to invest in? What are the key things you're going to do for yourself when you retire? You know, I always call it the old man car. You see a lot of older gentlemen, they get pickup trucks, they get nice cars. That's a gift to their self for their retirement. I want to have my cars paid off. You know, even if I do buy myself a car, I'm gonna buy it with cash. I don't want to have to pay no interest on anything. As of right now, I don't have no car payments, no car payments, and I just got a new car. Trying not to, pay no car payments because that's the thing. Over time, that interest rate, a lot of time people get killed on. Nowadays, the interest rate on these trucks are astronomical. I seen a dude go into 84 months at $2,000 for a pickup truck, fully loaded pickup truck. I'm like, what's in that thing? Like a spaceship? You're gonna be flying in it? I don't need a new truck that much. Like I can like my old 98 pickup truck, it just passed the point of no emissions. So I don't have to get no emissions on that truck. Only thing I have to fix on that truck now is just the AC. That truck drives, still has good power. Had an older guy check my truck out. It's an old shop from a guy I know from my church. And he wants to buy that pickup truck because he told me they don't make these trucks like this anymore. The motor's strong. He said, I guarantee you everything on this truck will break before that motor breaks. Transmission will go out. He said, fuel pump. Everything on this truck will break before the motor breaks. And that's great to hear. Seeing that my truck got less than 200,000 miles on it, hey, it's doing good, you know. And like I said, it's a work truck. I use it for work. It's not the prettiest of truck, but the point of it is, I didn't buy it to look pretty. I bought it to make money, you know. And that's the thing. We got to look at these situations when it comes to us getting older. Do we really need to invest in these real nice cars like that? You know, prime example, I got my wife to the point. I told her, we can get the Mercedes all day, but the point of reference is, are you prepared for the maintenance of that Mercedes? Because the maintenance alone is going to kill most people's pockets. You know, sensors going out left and right. Don't you know most of these companies know when the sensor's going to default? They're at a point of knowing when the sensor defaults. They're able to come on in, pay $400 just for us to switch the sensor out. It was a default in the sensor. Oh, come on in. Your light's going out. $300 just to change a light bulb in most of these Mercedes. To pushing to something. The bulb itself, you know, maybe costs $50, $75, but the labor to do it just to take it out. I mean, when we get to the point of actually spending money, if you look at the numbers, a lot of times we're spending unnecessary money. Grocery bills, you know, um, Ramit, I want to teach you to be rich. I always tell people about his channel. Literally had somebody spending almost $3,000 on their grocery bill a month. Alone, their pets was $1,000. Their pets was $1,000 alone. And I'm like, what is the pet eating? Like premium pet food? Like, I didn't even know that was a thing. I knew that it was some good food. You know, they used to have for dogs back, beef jack or beef chow, something for dogs, like real good food. Like the kibbles and all that stuff is just mediocre. But I mean, like literally, just overspending. You know, to the point where latest designer clothes. You know, one thing I can give as far as designer clothes, the quality of the material, that's good. So it's built to last. But far as all the other features of it, what are we actually really doing? What are we actually really doing? You know, so say the least, going into it, running the numbers, man, if you're preparing for retirement, you're getting some things in order. You're not overspending, you're watching your spending, you know, sometimes cooking more or less than going out, you know, eating to like far as your habits, shopping and buying miscellaneous things, those habits gonna start ending, because preparing for your future is the key. Put money into a 401k, some retirement plan that you can build for later. How many people are actually doing that? Looking into that, investing into that. How many people are actually on YouTube looking at certain investments versus paying attention to a lot of the flim flam, as people say, the gossip, the tea, the talk, you know, everything's good and, fun, but at the same time, we have to prepare ourselves for the future because the laughs and the giggles, you can't cash that at the bank. You know, the funness that we have, hey, it's not served with a smile when you get older. We have to look at our options now, and needless to say, invest in our future. You know, from the we are the world, believe in the future, the children. We're the children of that generation. Now we're grown. What future are we gonna have for ourselves? This is the main thing I like to talk about. Just from a small standpoint of money, investing, health and wellness, your mental health. Shout out to Gold Professor with the 9 laws of self-government. Having the discipline to do things, discipline to make money, having the discipline to have your ducks in order when you get older, protecting yourself above all else, not being put into the same situation that millions and millions of people are going to be in. You know, some people are going to be homeless. Some people are going to be, I mean, to a degree, I'm not above that. Just as I'm talking to you here, if I'm not making the right choices, I could be one of the ones that, I'm talking about. Even not even just that, just not making the right choices. I just get to the point of being with the wrong person, you know? Say my wife wants to go left one day. I don't know. That's the point. Different situations, different opportunities, different obstacles are going to be at everybody's foot. You know, you got to be able to learn how to handle those situations as they occur, and for us to be ready for them. Because just know that, hey, when you get older, you're gonna have to make some sacrifices. You might not gonna be able to get that big old nice car that you always dreamed about when you retire. You may have to take your car that you have now, put a little money into it, fix it up, and keep on trucking. You know, you might not be able to get that jet power car that they have in the future. You might have to just drive along like regular people, the common people, saving your money. What are you gonna invest in with your money? What does the future hold for you? We have the talks, but what are we gonna be investing in? What are the things that's gonna help us for the future? For ourselves. This is basically the biggest thing that I want to run across a lot of people investing in their life, investing in their future. What sacrifices are you going to make to actually, you know, in the words of Ramit, live your rich life? Because everybody has a number in which they want to maintain life with. So, hey, what is that number? What are you going to do to get to that number and be happy? With that being said, shout out to everybody in the building. I'm about to get ready to get off of here. Like I said, shout out to Alonzo, the All Star Advisor. Check him out on Friday. He's going to have a luncheon like he normally does at 12. And I believe this one's going to be regarding housing. If you check my community tab, you're actually going to see the post that I made for him. And I'm actually going to be posting again right after this video. So hey, if you missed it, it's going to be the first one you see as soon as you jump off this video. Give me about 5 or 10 minutes or so, but that's the first thing you're gonna see. Shout out to everybody once again. You know what I say when I get off the hill? We here and we gone. Peace. Bud Files in the building. What's going on with your Bud Files? We here and we gone.